I see a lot of business owners that try to shortcut the system. They try and fast track straight into the lead generation side of things. So they hire a lead generation agency or an expert and they focus on the leads. That's great, and I totally get it. You need to make sales, you need to make revenue, but I find from my experience that if you try to shortcut the system and you don't focus on certain other elements that are more important first, and I'll come to that in a minute, if you stay to the end, I'll explain it to you exactly what that is, then all you're doing is you're then generating revenue to cover the cost or the expense of running the ads and probably just paying the agency that you've just hired to generate you the leads. So there's no shortcut to this process. It needs to be done the right way. And if you don't focus on building brand and your customer journey and all the touch points that you need, and you don't think about how you're perceived, how you build trust, so user generated content, testimonials from your existing customers, if you can't social proof who you are, then your landing page or your Facebook ad campaign or whatever it is that you run is only going to generate you leads. It's not going to generate you the volume of quality of sales, or what you're actually doing is you're giving your sales team a really difficult job of converting those leads. So let's just go into a little bit more detail about what those three key areas are. So number one, brand. And lots of people think I'm a branding expert, I can help you with your brand, I can give you the best logo, etc. But that's not traditional branding. That's not what branding really is. Ultimately, your brand is all about the messaging and the consistency and the way that your consumer feels, the way your suppliers feel, the way your team feel internal to your business. So it can only be judged by what people say about you. And there's a famous saying that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. But it goes way deeper than that. It's more about the connection that you're making. It's about what lasts. It's what stays behind. And yes, you can recognize a logo, colors, lovely, but doesn't make a difference. You know, a mark is a mark ultimately. So what is it that you're leaving behind for your customers? What is the message that you're trying to give them? What is it about you and your business and your product, or what solution are you providing to what problem they have? It's those things, but it's how you go about it as well. It's how you go beyond that. So that's number one. Number two is your customer journey. So to going pre-ads, what do they see before they see your ad, for example? So have you got a nice website? Have you got good testimonials? Have you got decent social media that's updated? Are you posting relevant content daily? Is there more for them to go and find? Do you come up on Google? Are you searchable? Are you ready for that next step? Because whilst your ads are going to put you out in the shop window, people rarely trust that first impression of an ad. It's very rare that a completely cold person is going to click on your ad and become a client. First thing they're going to do as soon as they click off your ad, Google you, what comes up. And that's what you've got to not control, because it's developed over time, but that's the experience you've got to put across. So customer journey, but more importantly to that, once they have clicked, what are you sending them? So if you've got YouTube videos, if you've got customer testimonials, are you putting them in front of the people? Are your potential customers seeing that? Because what's more important to them is how similar people to them felt. Maybe one of your customers has a similar problem and you solved it in a particular way. So we need to tell them so that they can relate to it. Because whilst they might not be able to relate to you as a CEO or business owner, you saying we're the best is great. But what's better is your other customers saying, these guys, I really trust these guys, they've never let me down and I highly recommend them. So that's way more important than anything that you can put out there in an ad. You know, in fact, the best ads are the user generated content where your customers are saying, I trusted these guys, they did a great job, highly recommended, they won't let you down. So that's going to be your best ad anyway. So if you don't have that, don't even worry about running the first type of ads, because this is way more powerful. So the third thing is how you put it all together. So you have the awareness, you have the fact that they're considering you as an option in their buying process. So they've probably pitted you against 3 or 4 other businesses. And something that I find really interesting, and this is a conversation I had with a client the other day, is that what you've got to consider is if somebody's making a serious buying decision, they've probably already done considerable research. They're arriving at your ad almost in a, not necessarily in a hot to go buy ready situation, but they're arriving in a consideration stage. So if you don't have all of the other elements that match up with that. So if you can't social proof, if you can't prove who you are, if you don't show existing customers, if you can't show a quality or something that makes you stand out, then you disappear when it comes to those people pitting it against. And as much as you might not want to compete on price, that's the race to the bottom, as we know, it's very difficult to elevate yourself if you don't do these other things. Otherwise, it is just an ad, it's just a lead, and then you do get compared on what your visibility is. And if price is not visible, if your product's not visible, if it's not clear what you do, you're just going to disappear into the noise. So the third thing is putting it all together. So the awareness, what are you telling people? How aware are they? What videos are you showing them? Then are you retargeting that particular interest? So let's say they've clicked on your ad and they've clicked on one ad, great. They've become a lead, you can't get hold of them. But what ads are you showing them in the meantime? What content are you driving to them? What touch points are there? What are you putting in front of them? But also, what are you helping them to discover themselves? So next time they go on their social media, have you got a retargeting campaign? Next time they go on Google, have you got a retargeting campaign? People aren't thinking about their campaigns to this level of detail, and if you're not doing it, you're just missing out. What's more important is what people can find, the searchability. So are you in the AI script now? So are you findable on the AI? Are you being suggested by Google as a viable solution to the customer's problem? If you're not, then you're just going to get yourself so far behind in 2026, because the Google weight now is diminishing, and the increase of AI recommending businesses is becoming much more apparent. I'm sure you've noticed it yourselves. So you might ask yourself, how do you stay ahead? Well, the answer is that things are always going to be evolving. But unless you've got somebody that's experienced, helping you, guiding you, telling you all these things, then literally you are just throwing money away on ads. And the last thing I want to do for any of my clients is to waste any time, because time's currency as well, or actual physical currency, because you got the opportunity cost as well. So by all means, hire a lead generation expert, go and hire that agency, run some great ads. Some of them are very good. But what you'll find is that if you don't do the brand, you don't do your customer journey, you don't do the social proof, and you don't know how to put it all together, your campaign's just going to flop. So if you want to get it right, contact me, click on the link below. We can have a little deep dive into your business. I can identify very quickly where I feel like there's areas that we can add some value. We can reshoot some content. We can create some of those retargeting campaigns. We can put it all together. And then by all means, keep running the ads with your ad agency. That's absolutely fine. I'm not here to replace them, but getting the strategy right behind it, getting all the touch points in place, making sure your funnel's working for you, making sure you're following up, making sure you're not leaving deals on the table. That's where I can really help you. And that's worth lots and lots to you. So let's do it. Let's get that deep dive booked in. What have you got to lose? It's just a free phone call at the end of the day. Hopefully you'll come away with some ideas. It's 30 minutes at the end of the day. If I can give you some value in that 30 minutes, imagine what I can do working with you over the next 12 months. Look forward to speaking to you.